Ladies and gentlemen, I'm back with another video, and I'm going to be discussing prophecy today, and I want to talk about some of the events that have just been going on in the news today. We're hearing peace agreements that are being talked about with Israel in the Middle East, and Europe could be involved in this, Iran, and we're hearing more and more about peace talks, and we know when a peace treaty gets signed, then we know whoever confirms it is the Antichrist. So we're getting much closer. The clock is ticking. We're entering in, and I believe we're going to be entering into the tribulation period really soon. So we need to look up, for our redemption is drawing nigh. And I believe we're getting closer and closer each day to the coming of our Lord Jesus Christ. But I do believe we're in end times right now. And I'm going to be jumping into the book of Revelation. I want to talk about what we can expect during the end times and in the tribulation period. So without further ado, I'm going to be jumping right into the book of Revelation chapter 15. And I believe that God has a word for you today. So I'm going to be giving this devotional today, but before I do, I want to ask you if you could smash that subscribe button right now. And if you could like this video as well, hit that thumbs up, I would appreciate it. So Revelation chapter 15, and I'm going to read 2 verses. And what does it say? This is the prelude to the vial or bowl judgments in the middle of the tribulation, or more in the latter half of the great tribulation. What does it say? I saw another sign in heaven, Revelation 15:1, a sign in heaven, great and marvelous, 7 angels having the 7 last plagues. For in them is filled up the wrath of God. Then verse 2 says, and I saw as it were a sea of glass mingled with fire. And them that had gotten the victory over the beast, and over his image, and over his mark, and over the number of his name, stand on the sea of glass, having the harps of God. So this is Revelation chapter 15. And now the angels are coming. The 7 angels are going to bring the judgment of God upon the earth during the great tribulation period. This is heading more toward the end, toward the battle of Armageddon. So we're here in Revelation chapter 15. Like I said, we're hearing peace talks in the news already. So we're getting closer to entering into the tribulation period. It's close. We're in the birth pains right now. So I'm going to extrapolate from this verse. What does it say? And I want to try to give a summary here. I saw another sign in heaven, great and marvelous, 7 angels. These 7 angels were the ones God was using to bring the 7 specific judgments on the earth, the 7 last plagues. Each were individual, and I'm going to break that down in greater specificity when I get into the book of Revelation chapter 16 in the next week or so. But what does it say? The 7 angels, they were bringing 7 different plagues on the earth. And it says, having the 7 last plagues, for in them is filled up the wrath of God. The wrath of God is completely filled with these judgments. This is where the wrath of God gets poured out on the earth. A lot of people, they say, and they come up with their own ideas and opinions, and in summary of what they think it is, they say that the whole tribulation is the wrath of God, or the beginning, the birth pains, is part of the wrath of God. But no, right here, Revelation 15, verse 1 says, in the vials is filled up the wrath of God. This is the wrath of God coming on the earth. This is where the greatest judgments are going to hit the earth. And Revelation chapter 16, verse 21, the people that are on the earth that have taken the mark, or wicked people that are there, they're going to be cursing, they're going to be mocking, they're going to be blaspheming God. This is what it says. And this is the wrath of God coming upon the earth. And what are they? The 7 vial judgments, or the 7 bowls. This completes the wrath of God. Now I want to read verse 2. And what does it say? And he says, I saw as it were a sea of glass mingled with fire. And them that had gotten the victory over the beast, and over his image, and over his mark, and over the number of his name, stand on the sea of glass, having the harps of God. So what is the sea of glass mingled with fire? The sea of glass here is referring to the glory of God and his holiness. His glory is like a beautiful sea of glass, holiness, purity, 100% perfect in perpetuity. This is how God is. And here it says, he saw, this was a vision that John had. He saw it mingled with fire. So the sea of glass is mingled with fire. And what's that fire? The fire represents the judgment of God. His wrath is going to be coming on the earth, and the people are just going to get more apoplectic and more duplicitous and more evil and just blasphemous. That's what they're going to be during this time. But God is going to bring the fire down, the judgment. That's what the fire mixed with the sea of glass represents, the holiness of God and the judgment of God. And then it says, as it were a sea of glass mingled with fire, and then that had gotten the victory over the beast and over his image and over his mark. So not only did he see this beautiful image of God's purity and glory and holiness and his judgment, but he also, John, he saw those people who got victory over the beast. That's what it says. Who's the beast? We know the Antichrist, who I believe is coming, whoever's confirming this peace treaty. Right now, Donald Trump is the one working this peace treaty. I'm not saying he's the Antichrist yet. I'm not ruling him out. I'm just saying whoever is the one who confirms this peace treaty, Daniel chapter 9, verse 27, he will break it in the midst of it. But this peace treaty is going to be all in the Middle East, and it's going to be worldwide. It's going to be global, this peace treaty. But that's the beast. And these people on the earth got victory over the beast. These are the saints that were going through the tribulation period. These are the saints who survived. These are the saints who refused to worship the beast or his image. That image of the beast, we know the image is going to come alive. You already read that in Revelation chapter 13. Revelation 13, verse 14, 15, 16. Talks about the image of the beast. They're going to worship this image, and it's going to come to life. I believe AI, artificial intelligence, is coming to life all the time through robots, through computerized images, people talking, and they're really not talking. It's AI speaking for them. Before long, this image is going to declare worship. It's going to be a fake, false image. We see this happening now. AI is being implemented. And we know that this being pushed even more, not just the United States, but globally. AI is being pushed more and more. We're going to see this happen, and AI is just going to get more and more evil as it goes on, as it progresses. So what does it say? I saw, as it were, a glass mingled with fire, and them that had gotten the victory over the beast and over his image and over his mark. And that mark is 666, the mark of the beast. So these people got victory over the Antichrist. How did they get victory over the Antichrist, the beast? The false images, this mark of the beast. How did he get victory? By refusing to take it, not capitulating, not surrendering, not being culpable by worshiping the beast, but refusing, even if it cost them their lives, even if they were beheaded by the guillotine. There's going to be Christians going to come to that point where either they take the mark or they get the guillotine. If you're a Christian, if you ever end up at that point, never take the mark, because you're doomed to hell for all eternity. Just, you know what? It's only for a moment, the guillotine, and you're standing before God as a martyr with a martyr's crown. So you cannot lose if that happens. If those are the tribulation saints that are in the earth during this time, that's who I'm talking about. And it says, and over the number of his name. We know that 666 is his number. And then it says, he stands on the sea of glass, having the harps of God. Who had the harps of God? This was the 24 elders in the book of Revelation, chapter 5 and verse 8. And the wrath of God is about ready to be poured out. There's a celebration of godly saints. The rest of the saints that are on the earth are going to be caught up in the clouds with Jesus, and then he's going to judge those that are on the earth during the battle of Armageddon. And we're getting close, beloved. So I encourage you to keep your eyes up and keep focusing on Jesus, because he's coming back for you. He's going to protect you, and you are not appointed unto wrath. God will rescue you from wrath, and he will bless you because he loves you. If this devotion was a blessing to you, I ask you to put a comment below, and I'll have another video up for you soon. I'll have one up for you in the next couple days. God bless you, and thank you for watching.